is Durger time. Welcome back to another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, Cyberpunk Pro Wrestling. So, we just had another show, and it went okay, but I think we have a very clear problem on our hands, which is that we have a talent gap, and we need to do something with that pretty quickly. We did lose a lot of money from our show, but that was to be expected. If we take a look at our costs here, we're expecting about 6,500 or so in income. Oh wait, that's an expenditure. Sorry. So we're expecting about, in just marketing and that's actually only income for sponsorship. So we're expecting about 4,300 in income from sponsorships, and then another about 2,300 in just basic expenditures a month. So we're not getting a lot of money here. We're only getting about $2,000 or so extra on top of can't talk today, on ticket sales. Unfortunately, though, we'll see that our worker expenditures are pretty high, and it's going to get higher. It's something we're going to have to deal with right now, because our talent for our shows is lacking. We need another bigger star. We had talked about it briefly at the end of the last episode, but if we look here, Whisper, probably Razor, and Neuromancer should not be our main events. Kingston and Kimberly fit within that. These guys should be at most probably upper mid-carders. We also have a problem with we don't have enough lower mid-carders. Though I would say some of the people on our mid-card should probably be in there. So what we're going to have to look at is we're going to have to look at finding one or two more people that fit within our brand and are, let's say, I don't even know if I want to do regional star, but I don't think we can't go too crazy in money. What we would ideally want, to go back to it, we want somebody that is going to bring some talent at the end, and I don't really want to spend more than like 500 from them. I'm willing to do 600, I think. I know we got to spend money to make money and all that, but we need somebody at that level. Now, my fear right now, as we're doing this, is that anybody on a regional level is going to probably be well more than that. Yeah. Too much money. Way, way, way too much money. So we're not going to be looking for regional level, it seems. We're going to have to delve deeper in, or regional star. We're going to have to go into regional level. And that's where we're going to pull our stars from, I think. So let's start with people based in the United States, can work in the United States. Let's narrow this down a little bit and say based in the tri-state area. Is there anybody regional level that might be a good pick for us? So here we are. We're kind of closer to our pay range that we're looking for here. So regional level. So what does regional level means? It means that they're of a certain type of popularity, that they're known not just within their local area, that they're known within their entire region. A lot of times these mods don't do it accurately, so you see here like Angel Ortiz is of that level everywhere. That's probably not a realistic way to do this, right? But it's just a quick way, and sometimes a lot of mod makers, they don't have time to individually price and set every person, but they'd be here forever. So you see like this flat rates, which is probably a little unreasonable. Now, I'm going to narrow this down a little bit more. And what I want is, in addition to that, I want good in-ring workers. I reset that all. Let's say at most regional level. Or no, we want exactly regional level. Based in United States. Tri-state. Anybody? Okay. So who do we got? Oh, and I need 2 higher. Because Drew Gulak would be great, but not quite what we're looking for here. So we got Homicide. Too expensive. Low key, too expensive. Tommy Dreamer, too expensive. Let's broaden that out to the United States. Okay. We don't have a lot of people here. We got PJ Black for 1,100. Man, he just looks old all of a sudden. Rhino. Ricky Banderas. What? No. Little too old for that. Jimmy Jacobs, which would not be a bad option, actually. Relatively popular. A little more money than I'm kind of willing to do, but would definitely fit our aesthetic, I think. Our brand. So we're kind of not seeing. We're seeing too much money. Let's go with decent in-ring worker. We just want people to be able to go a little bit. So you got like Davey Richards. Again, the pricing is being tough here. Chuck Taylor is within that price range, though. Honestly, I don't see fitting within our aesthetic very much. One of my favorite wrestlers, but I don't really know how we would utilize him, what his gimmick would be, what his character could be in a way that would make sense. I don't want this distinction of like well-known names. I mean, we were kind of talking about, having to have a interesting cyberpunk, like, futuristic, in-universe character. And where I could see somebody like Dalton Castle being manipulated to do that. I don't necessarily. I could see Christopher Daniels doing that, but I don't see somebody like Chuck Taylor coming up with it. If you guys got a good one, let me know. If you guys could think of something interesting, an interesting gimmick for Chuck Taylor, I will gladly take it, because I would always love to have Chuck Taylor on my roster. But right now, I don't really see it. Pac, too expensive. Rich Swann, too expensive. DJ Perkins, still a little too expensive. Huh. We're running into some pricing issues here. I really don't want to spend this type of money. Who's our cheapest on here? I really wish you could search through pricing. So Chuck Taylor is kind of our area. We got Adam Rose, 800. Kazarian's 900. Got Murdoch here. It's what was his character's name? It was the Funkadactyl guy. I forget what his name was. Actually, would not be a bad get either. A little old though. What's his popularity? Not bad. Could go. It's not a bad option. I'm going to shortlist him for now. We have to look at see who we need. I feel like we need another heel, so he might not be a bad option for that. And Jay Bradley, I'm not really familiar with. 800. So I feel like we're not going to get much out of it. Matt Cross, I could see us doing something with. 900's a little pricey, though. Paul London, I could see us doing with, but $1,000 is out of the question. Really need that $600 range or something. So let's broaden that up a little bit more. Let's go with not awful in-ring workers. And here's actually something I'm going to check here. I want to check our roster real quick. Cyberpunk. There we are. I want to see, first of all, do we have any regional level wrestlers? No. Oh, to view. There we are. Okay. So regional level. Just Eddie Kingston. Regional star? Nobody. So we're looking for another regional level. I'm looking for who is not awful in-ring workers. So what I want to see is what is our band here, right? So right now, only Kingston and Neuromancer are not apparently garbage tier for us, right? Seems a little weird. I would think Kimberly would be a little bit higher. Anybody decent? Both. Anybody good? Neuromancer, which is kind of interesting. I feel like he's not really done much for us. Anybody great? Neuromancer. Anybody excellent? No. So technically, if he could wrestle better, he's a great wrestler, right? But he has a lot of negatives for us in his wrestling style and his ability to go for a while. That's been holding him back, and his popularity is kind of garbage. It's not bad, but it's 13 or something like that. So, not a bad option for us in terms of maintaining being a main eventer, and also, obviously, he's going to have a free salary. But right now, we don't have anybody that's not awful except for Kingston. So that's going to be our range right now that we're hiring from. So we're going to go with anybody, wrestler, who is, we'll go with at least an unknown that's not awful based in the United States. That's going to probably bring up too many people. But we can build people up. Let's start with Tri-State. Okay. So we got a lot of people that are local. The reason why I'm looking for the local is that theoretically they will have a slight bump in popularity that we can use. A little bit, right? So that gives us a bit of an option here. So somebody like this here, Azrael, very low cost. Rumble's weak, average, not awful, right? Let's go decent. Okay, at what point do we have? Okay, so just low key, decent. I think decent might be where we're going to be shooting for. We want cheap, relatively cheap. You know, Alpha NOI would be cheap. Not a bad option. So let's shoot for regional level. Okay. So we definitely run into a situation where we just don't have that talent pool in the tri-state area. Let's stick to unknown, because I think we could build people up pretty quickly. That 5 range, and we have Icarus, who's not far off here in terms of popularity. It's not a bad option. Main eventer and Chikara could work well for us. Could easily have a gimmick that could fit for us and within a good price range, and only work in one other place, so that's not bad. I don't hate that. I'm gonna see how low I can get them. I will say we'll never be lower than upper mid Carter. You 400. That's fine. That's pretty much where I would like to be. So that's not a bad option. Let's see if we can get anybody else. I would like to have at least one more person. Dalton Castle's definitely in our future, but right now, not so much. Who we were looking at before? What was it, Alpha? Grant Akuma still wrestling? Jeez. Also within the price range, I just feel like he's too old at this point. I mean, well, we can always bring in Marty Jannetty, I guess. I don't know about that, but who were we looking at a second ago? We got Trent too. Again, same situation. Would love to have him, but I don't know if we really have a strong gimmick that we could give him that would fit. Got a mid Carter. Who's this guy? 600. I'm not familiar with this guy. Not a great popularity range either for the price. Upper mid Carter. Again, also not very popular. I swear we had somebody. Were they just not awful? It was Azrael. So his talent range isn't great, but we'll pop him down, see what I can get for him. 300 is not bad. Gives us an extra body. And let's look at anybody that's good. How about let's go anywhere in the United States. Good wrestlers. Anybody that is of a low cost? Not particularly. Boy. And then, of course, decent's going to give us quite a bit of people. Probably too much to look at, to be honest. Let's narrow this down. Decent and decent microphone skills. And decent... say consistency. See who this narrows down. Okay, so we've still got everybody. Let's go with good microphone skills. All right, that narrows down some people a little bit, but we also want at most regional level for now. There we go. Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan's only 700. Interesting. Out injured though. Interesting. This seems off immensely to me. I'm going to shortlist only wrestling in Lucha Underground and MLW. I'm not really sure what the gimmick could be for him other than still himself. But what's his price range? 700. If I can get him for 520, maybe. Push would never be lower. Upper mid Carter. 580. Well, that's an option. It's pretty pricey. You know what though? I think we can make something work with him, and he's out for a bit, so we have some time to change that around if we decide. Obviously, we're not getting any downsides right now or anything like that, so that we have to worry about. I'm going to shortlist Jimmy Jacobs too, because I think there's some potential there that we can do with. But his price range is a little bit high for where we're at right now. So that's something we'll have to look at. And we could always bring people in for one-offs and stuff like that, like Tommy Dreamer for a couple shows or something like that. But his price range is just way too high for what we're looking for right now. All right, so let's go ahead and let's fast forward. Let's get these new signings on and see where our financials are as we lead into our next show of Cyberpunk. All right, got some signings. Azrael. Push in, and then we're still waiting for our other two. Let's go ahead and put him on the roster real quick so he doesn't get upset in the meantime. Probably not going to change much for his gimmick. Mid-carder, though. That's fine. We need probably a mid-card. How many people do we have on mid-card? How many faces versus heels? One heel mid-card, two heel mid-carders. Okay, so we're going to make him a heel. Keep that balanced. Okay. All right, one more name down. Let's see what we got. We got both. Cool. And we will put them in. Icarus will be a main eventer. I think he'll probably be a heel. Right? Heel, heel, heel. Face, face, heel. We might actually make him a face. And I think we'll keep the name for the most part. I don't think there's much of an issue with Icarus. Will work. And I feel like, yeah, you should be going down to upper mid Carter. There we go. Anybody else need to be adjusted over here? Joey Ryan. Better as a heel. We'll keep him as that. He can't be pushed right now because he's injured. But we will bring him on board eventually. And let's go to the show. All right, so we simmed up all the way to the 1st of June. Our regional battle is probably going to look bad. I'm really looking forward to see how bad this looks. Yeah, last out of 8th. We're going to have a lot of work to do in order to move up from that. Pay raise request from Eddie Kingston wants a lot more, and I am not willing to pay that much. He's going to get angry. I'm going to do 25%, and that's fine. I can't afford that right now. We're barely making $2,000 from a month. We can't afford to pay half of that to one person. We have a show in 5 more days. We're still small. I'm worried that these next couple shows are going to bring us back down. We will see, though. But we definitely are going to start having some morale issues starting to form. And we might end up be churning through people. We'll have to look at it. But we just cannot afford to be paying people the wages that they want until we get some more financials going. Let's go ahead and forward up to that next 5 days. All right, Volgar is now no longer injured, and Danger Hawk is now rated as muscular. All right. We do have some locker room incidents that we have to deal with. We still have 2 injuries. Probably a wrestler's court thing. Yeah. You saw someone was brought before wrestler's court, accused of forgetting to shake another wrestler's hand, and basically being charged to give some beers out. All right, so we're still going to be in a generic venue, would be my guess. Yep, no problem. We will do that again. What are we looking at? 211, a little bit less than what we had last time, which is unfortunate. Let's go ahead and book it. All right, we're back. We're going to try to run this real light this episode. So not a lot of segments, but we are leading towards the next show. And we're going to try to run it a little bit leaner and see how it goes. So we start off with an announcement saying that a number 1 contendership match will go tonight, and the winner of which will face Eddie Kingston at the next Supercard. And it'll be Neuromancer versus Kimberly. It does okay. D- is not bad. It's kind of about what we would expect from this, but that's fine. We start off the show. It's not a great match. It's a work the crowd match. Azrael defeats our jobber, Young Boy Jody. 9 minutes pinfall. So Azrael debuts. His gimmick is an average. Azrael's got a 30 in performance. That's good. I'm going to kind of have him playing around, seeing who he works well with, and kind of keep that in mind as we go. It seems like for Jody, it's not him. but that's okay. E, it's kind of about what we would expect from this. We have a match between Brian Connor and Kefka. It's a poor match. Kefka defeats Brian in 9 minutes by submission after a distraction from the Whisper, who comes out. So after distraction from the Whisper, during the match we had him go ahead and distract him, seemingly lying. Brian Connor and Kefka have great chemistry together, which is not bad to see. Did get the crowd hotter, so that's basically what we were kind of going for. Ratings not as good as I would have hoped, though. And of course, we do advance the storyline and gain heat, which is what we really needed for this going forward. Connor had a 32, Kefka had a 26. It's not bad. Kind of would hope for a little bit more there. Afterwards, obviously, we have an angle with Kefka standing beside the Whisper, seemingly joining sides. So for a while, we've been having the Whisper kind of ruminating about, and we're finally getting to see a little bit of those machinations. And we give Kefka something to do. We've kind of had kind of lingering in the mid-card. Got the crowd hotter, actually, so that's something to keep in mind, even though its ratings pretty poor. E-18 is not fantastic. We do have a tag team match afterwards that doesn't do great. Diakatana versus Cyberhawks in 9 minutes. Bushido defeats Silverhawk. This is just an exhibition match, not for the belts, but kind of giving them a little momentum going into the next supercard. Looking for chemistry here really was the thing that we were looking for, and I'm not seeing it. Silver and Knight about the same. I mean, they're all about evenly matched. This is kind of be what we would expect. 28, again, I'm really looking for those Ds at this point because we cannot afford to lose another regional battle, and we're just not seeing it from the current crew. Unfortunately, we're not seeing it from the new crew that we just got either, which is, not exactly what we would expect from who we hired, but we will have to see how they synergize going forward. This match does okay, though. It does boost up. It didn't advance. It advanced the storyline, did not gain any heat, though. So we'll have to look at how we want that storyline to go forward from here. In the final match, it's not great. Kimberly versus Neuromancer, 14 minutes. Kimberly defeats Neuromancer with a submission. Both are tiring at the end. It's too long of a match, which is kind of surprising considering it's only 14 minutes. Got the crowd buzzing. Both are about evenly matched. So it's a 31, which is about where their in-ring performance is. But, again, concerning that both of these are considered main eventers in our promotion at this point, and we haven't found anybody to really replace them. So that's not fantastic, and definitely not going to give us the boost that we would want going forward into that regional battle. We do have, afterwards, just a final freestyle segment to kind of give us a bit more of a boost. Kimberly becomes number one contender. Obviously, Neuromancer shakes her hand. It's just a babyface versus babyface type of situation. It does okay. Their Neuromancer's over, and both of theirs, Neuromancer and Kimberly's overness didn't hurt us here. So having a D- as the final main segment before the show ends is not going to be bad, but definitely not the type of show that we would want. We still need to look for more, especially in terms of some more talent. We're kind of dipping here. If we look at that Kefka Whisper scenario, Whisper's not having the impact that we would want in terms of overness. Everyone else is actually not looking at this. This is about well-rounded. I think we're missing those bigger names at this point, but I don't think we can afford it. So we're kind of stuck in a weird holding pattern. Let's see here. Yeah, our production values we're getting a hit from, but we know about that. We still gain a popularity, which is all that really matters. We'll go ahead and do our post-show speeches. Nobody was really off their game. Praise for game performance. And even though, who else is here? And we'll give this an initial. So we did make some enemies today, though. And that'll be something we'll have to look towards. Kingston is not too pleased, and being left off the show is probably not going to help us at all either. But we just simply can't afford that pay rate at this point. and we'll have to see what it is going forward. All right. Well, good news is no bad news. No injuries this time. No walkouts. No nothing. We're still bottom of the barrel, and we did just blow through almost all of our money for the month. And we still have another show in 5 days for the July, because that's our next super card. So once again, we're kind of getting this pattern where we're going negative, going back forward, and that's why at this point I feel like we're not going to be able to actually afford some of the bigger names that we would want. Momentum's strong though, 14 from that show for the quarter, Prestige at 9, so it's not doing horrendously, but definitely not in a situation that we would want. We got to find a way to kind of boost that, and maybe it's just going negative for a bit and getting somebody bigger. All right, guys, so in 5 days we got Short Circuit. That was it for me today. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.